You did? You had to crack the system. As soon as you crack the system, as soon as you understand how the numbers are made, it actually becomes quite easy. Except the one that was long. That was quite difficult. But the other 9 should be easy if you understand the system. And I will explain it to you. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay. All right, so let's look at the answers. So the point is that when you have 2 numbers, always the 2 numbers in the triplet. So triplet means 3 numbers. I have separated for you the number by triplet. So you have here 1 triplet, 1 to 3, and here you have another triplet, 0, 8, 4. Okay. So when it is a triplet, the first number is always starting with the real number and then its position. So for example, 600, 500, 200, okay? Then whenever you come to these last two numbers of the triplet, they go the other way. They're switched. So you have 100, 3, and 20. Always the last 2 numbers of the triplet are switched. So for example, here we have chaturasite. So these are 2 numbers, last 2 numbers of the triplet. Here the triplet starts with 0. So mathematically, it's actually 0, 8, 4. Okay, but it's the same thing. We don't need to write it. And because these are the second 2 numbers, we need to switch them. So it will be chatu and then asite. Okay, but 84 is chaturasite. You actually have it in the book. It should not be so difficult. Then, because it's thousands, you of course need to add that it's thousandth, but you do not have any variations here, so you could not be wrong about that. And then you see sata. Because it's 1, you need to use just sata. It's very easy. And then again, the second 2 numbers need to be switched. You see? So you have te, 3, and then visate, 20. All right. Now, all of the mistakes that I have made are always spelling mistakes. Well, there were some exceptions, but most of the mistakes that I have indicated are actually spelling mistakes and nothing else. So here cannot be TV sate because it's 3, and 3 is tevi sate. Let me see, what do you have there? You have tevi sate. You have it in the book. There is no other version. And the other one, Chaturasite. No, cannot be, because Chaturasite is in the book and you don't have the Chaturasite, the other one. Okay, now this one was a little difficult. So you need to understand that in the Pali tradition, and it's very similar to Sri Lanka, they do not actually count in the way by these triplets. Like in English, we say these are hundreds, and these are thousands, and these are millions, and so on. No, actually, they don't do that. They have it a little more complicated. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you have tens. Then you have hundreds. Then you have 10. Then you have thousands. But then as soon as it comes to 2 zeros, it becomes lakh. Lakh, 100,000. Okay, in Burmese, they use this very much. I don't know if you have that in Vietnamese. But in Burmese, actually, and in Sri Lanka it's the same, and in Pali it's the same. You count by 100,000s. So this, if, for example, I had here 2, then you do not say 200,000, 300. No. You would say 200,000s. Not, 200,321. You would say it in a different way. And these are 50 100,000s. It's not 50 million and something. No. It is 50 100,000s. And it's very important to learn this, because you will come across this again and again when you come to numbers, when you come to large numbers in Pali. So we always count by 100,000s. If it is more than that, we count by 10 millions and then 100,000s. So here we have Panyasa. You see, 50 100,000s. 50 100,000s. And then you have Tisata, which means because the first of the triplet needs to go the number and the position. So it is 300. You see, Tisata. And then you get Eka Visati. The last 2 numbers are switched. So you have Eka Visati. And because it's together, you need to use Tisate Eka Visati. But this is something that you will learn later in this course. How do you actually combine the words? We did not learn it yet very well. It was sometimes mentioned in some scriptures, in some of the lectures, but you probably did not notice, or it was not really tested. Okay, so Tisate Eka Visati is correct. Cannot be Tika Visate because it is Eka Visate. So you need to join Tisata and Eka Visate. Cannot become Ika Visate in that sense. And here, Panyasa or Pancha, you see, cannot be Pancha Sata Sahasana because it's not 500,000. It is 5 million. So it would have to be, here we would have to have Pancha Dasasata Sahasana. And that's a nonsense. You would not really say that. You would have Pancha Koti if it was 50 million. If we had here something, we would say Pancha. We'd have Pancha Panyasa Satasahasa. You see, because it would be these 2, and because it's these 2, it's actually separate. So you need to say this one separately, and this one separately. So then you say Pancha Panyasa Satasahasani. Let's say we will have 3. Pancha Panyasa Satasahasani. Tettingsa Sahasani. Tisata Eka Visati. Tisate Eka Visati. Okay, let's continue. (2987). So, Ve Sahasani always must be short. Sahasan. And then Sattasiti must be When you have satta and asite, you need to combine them and they become long. You have learned it from chaturasite, 84. You see, it's long there. Even though it's chatu asite, together it becomes with a long one. So it must be satta asite, satta asite. Because there are two A's, because you have satta and asite, then together these two A's become one long A. Satta asite. Chasata, you see, the first of the three numbers must be first the number, then the position. Cha, sata. But then the remaining two are the other way. You see, panna or pancha is the same thing. Panna, rasa. 5, 10. And then we have the position, so it's the thousandths. And then we get navasata. Again, the hundredths have to go first the number, then the position. And then the last two numbers, again, are switched. Pancha, dasa. As for the differences, navasata, pancha, no, there's no reason to add this long A. No reason for that. Need to have the dots. And that's probably this. Oh. All right. Now, tisata, again, the same thing. Ti, sata, and then chasate. So here we are missing dots. Sasan, anything else? Satta terasa or satta tingsa. You see, satta terasa would mean 113. Satta tingsa is 130. So this one is correct. 437. So chatusata, satta tingsa. Again, they're switched. And then we say the position sasane. Then we have panchasata. Again, we go. It's the number position, and then we switch it. That tingsa. As for the differences, chaturasata. No, there is nothing like that. You need to use chatusata. If it was chaturasata, it would sound a little bit like 84. But that's not the case here. Anything else? Panchasata or panyasasata. You see, it should be 50 hundredths. No, that's not, we don't use that. You need to use pancha 500. All right, 222, 888. Dvasata bhavisati. Dvavisati and bhavisati is the same thing. That was not a problem. Problem was with dvasiti. Dvasiti means 82. Dvasata means 200. Okay, so 222. And then position, atthasata. Atthasata or attarasa. Attarasa means 80. Atthasata means 800. Atthasiti or atthasata. Atthasata means 800. Here we want 88. Okay. Navasata dvadasa. So 912. That's fine. Sahasani. Dvarasa or dvadasa. Interestingly, dvarasa is never used. Why do you have barasa? Right? No, you have terasa, sorry. You have terasa and you have barasa. Why don't you have dvarasa if you can have terasa? Well, that's probably to avoid this problem. Because dvarasa means of the door. Of the door. It has a different meaning. Maybe that's the reason why they never used. We never had, I specifically searched that, and there is no occurrence of dvarasa. No, it just doesn't exist. So either dvadasa or barasa. Okay. Sasani chasata or chasate. Well, sate is nonsense here. We need to use chasata. Chasate would mean sixfold mindfulness, but that's not what we're asking about. Terasa or telasa? Actually, terasa and telasa are both correct. Okay, satta sata. That's the same everywhere. Satta rasa, still the same. Is it true? Probably yes. No, something slightly different. Sata. Oh, I see. T is missing here. Must have double T for 7. Okay. Must have double T. You see here you have just one. Chasata, chasata. No. For sata, you do not need to lengthen the A because sata doesn't have A in the beginning. So we do not lengthen anything. Cha, sata, 600. Solasa must have dot below L. And now the last, the hardest one. This took me some time to actually write out. So again, we need to, in your mind or on a paper, you need to actually divide it like this. Okay, and this is how you get the number. So you get 65, so that's panchasatti, you see, and then you need to provide the position, koti, because these are 10 millions. Then we get 44. These are the lakhs, the 100,000s. I could use instead of lakhane, I could use satta sahasran. It's the same thing, but you have it in the book. You have their lakha. They're both satta sahasran and lakha. So we need to say 44, 4,400,000. So chatuchattalis. Then we get the thousands, 56,000. Chapanyas. And then finally, we get the three which are a little easier, not because they're easier, but because you have them in every question. Okay, so let's see the differences. Chatu or chata? No, it must be 44. You have the option here. You do not really have anything about above between 40 and 49 in the book, but you need to realize that it's a combination. Chatu plus chattalis. This is not a difficult combination. Lakani, lakhang. I'm pretty sure that there's no dot, but there's definitely double K. Cannot have one K. Chapanyasa. Seems to be the same. Sasan is also the same. Atthasata or atthasata. You see, again, sata, when it combines with the previous number, does not lengthen the A. We already had that. Vepanyasa. That seems to be the same everywhere. Okay, so that's what we have. Any questions? I would like to recommend to you to write down the numbers that you did not get correctly and add them into your Anki. You can add into your Anki. What you may like to do is to. I have a meeting after 6 minutes, but I think we can make it. So what you can do in your Anki, you can make a second collection of your vocabulary where you add your own vocabulary, so that when you get vocabulary from me, you can fully reset the whole Anki database and use the vocabulary from me while you still have your separate database with your own vocabulary, which will never be affected. For example, you would use that for these numbers because the exercise doesn't really provide those numbers. But in Pali texts, you see numbers again and again and again. It's a really basic knowledge. Okay, any questions? So far, no questions. Okay, I will try to prepare the lesson for next week. And if I see there's some problems, I would like to share with you as soon as possible. But somehow my daily plan is now a big mess. I don't understand why. So I'm getting back into some track. Thank you everyone for coming, and see you again next week. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be successful in everything you do.
Saru, saru.